Hello, and welcome to this playthrough of Lost Vikings. My name is Caitlin, and I'm going to be your awkward host for the night. Hostess. See, it's already awkward. This is The Lost Vikings. It was one of my favorite games to play as a kid on the very old computer, like a brick of a computer we used to have. It was developed by Silicon and Synapse, which we now know today as Blizzard. And this game is a puzzle game where you're controlling three different characters with three different abilities. Well, more than just three. But you're trying to get to the exit of all of the levels. And as you can see, it's a little funky, like the Vikings, these Vikings, they live up to their name. They are obviously lost um, because they do not look like they belong in that futuristic setting. And I'm going to explain a little bit of that in just a bit. So this is the very first level, and unfortunately, I did find a couple of these games emulators that did have the beginning cutscenes, but the controls were absolutely horrid and I could not figure them out. So I had to go with this particular website that unfortunately does not have the intro. So the basis of this game is these three adorable Viking characters. They were at home and they were gathering meat for their families, their wives and their children's. And in the middle of the night, they were abducted by aliens. And that is basically how the game begins. It throws you into this level, not really knowing much of anything. Now, this character here is Eric the Swift. And he lives up to his name. He's the fast one. He can jump, he can run. He's got this cool dash attack that he can do. If I could just... Yeah, there we go. And I'm going to put him over here by the exit, grab our next character. This is Olaf. Now, Olaf is, he uses his shield to block all enemy attacks. He can also use it to glide, and he can use it as a platform for the other characters. And this is Balog. He is the fierce, and he is the only one with a weapon. So, he's very important. But once you get to the exit, they have their little conversation. You go through that really quick, and then you are taken to the next level. So every level has a password. That way you don't have to play through the opening scenes all over again every time you come in. You can actually go through the menu and put in the password, which unfortunately this emulator does not have. But there's a few things that I want to show you guys. Like for instance, this thing right here, this apple tomato looking thing, is health. And we will use that later, and I will, well, probably, hopefully I won't have to. But I'm going to bring Olaf forward. It's always a good idea to bring him forward first because he's got the shield, so that this monster right here doesn't attack anybody. Now this game, I don't know if I already said this, it was published by Interplay in 1992 for the Super NES. But it became an MS-DOS game not too long after. And that's how I played it as a kid. Now, I'm going to push this button and grab those bombs because we're going to need those. Now, Eric's up here. I'm going to push the button to stop the lasers because if you walk into the lasers, you're going to die. And he's going to talk to the adorable janitor, this funky-looking alien thing here. And the janitor basically just tells us that we need to destroy the ship's computer. And of course, it's kind of funny because the Vikings, of course, they don't know what computers are, so their dialogue matches up with that. Now, he's grabbing all the health. Now I'm switching between the characters using control. And these abilities that they have, you just press the spacebar. So for him, it raises his shield, which you can use as like a platform if you need to get to higher places. He can also use it to glide. There's little hidden things in the walls sometimes where you can get extra health points and such. And then I'm going to use Olaf just to make my way down here, just for fun, just to show you what he can do. Now the buttons, obviously I can't reach this button the way it is because there's a electric field in the way, so if I shoot it, that's how that works. And I've got the bombs, so here's the computer. I just need to drop a bomb with E, run away. Now, If you need to select other things in your inventory, you can click tab and move around, click tab, and I could eat that if I wanted to, but there's no point. There you go. So the power's out, security's going to be looking for us, we got to get to that exit. So let's get up here. So the puzzles right now are fairly simple, but they do get pretty hard as you go along. I remember having a lot of difficulty with some of these things when I was a kid. Now there's a monster up here. I've got a lot of these memorized by heart. It's so fun to be able to come back to this game. I almost forgot it existed for a while until we got this assignment. And unfortunately, I didn't pick the one, with my name, the name specifications, because when I realized this was on here, I just had to play it again. There we go. Now this game also reminds me quite a bit of a game called Thomas Was Alone, which is actually not a very old game at all. It's fairly new, at least to me. It came out a few years ago. And it's a game about a rectangle who was alone, and then he wasn't. And you're joined by a bunch of other rectangles, and everyone has their own special abilities, just like these guys. And you have to complete all these puzzles in order to win the game. And I haven't really played much like this game before, besides that one, so I don't know what else to compare it to. Although I do get a kind of I was thinking about the whole time travel thing and the fact that they don't know what's going on, and it was completely accidental, at least to them. It reminds me a little bit of Futurama when Fry, gets frozen and he's taken 1,000 years into the future, however long. It's been a while since I've seen the show, but it reminds me of that just a tad. All right. But as you can see, it's not just all, alien spaceships and such. We just found ourselves in a very lush environment, picking up huge bombs, like that thing that I just picked up. It doesn't look like it, but it is a bomb, so I'm going to use that and show you guys what it does. It basically kills anything on screen. So if I come over here and I press E, all the monsters dead. It's wonderful. Here we go. I'm getting pretty far with just Eric. Probably not a good idea. You always kind of want to keep them together, but there we go. Bash into the wall, open that up, and then I can, have my other guys join me. Now, I'm not going to finish this level for you guys. I did the easy ones, and this one's pretty simple too, but it is definitely a game worth checking out. I would recommend it heavily, because even right now, years and years since I've played, and I am still having a blast. This is fantastic. Definitely a fun time. And I'm trying to remember if there's anything else I wanted to say about this game. There's not much else I feel like I need to compare it to. Although I'd love to hear about maybe some other games that you might find this similar to, because definitely love these puzzle games. They're so much fun. Oh look, I have the key. I can use that to open this, but I don't want to do that yet because that dinosaur is going to eat me. I could see the hunger in his eyes. There we go. Oh. Actually, it would be fun if I showed you what happens when you die. Let's do that. I'm just going to raise my shield. Oh, whoops, wrong character. And let him eat me. And let him eat my friends. Oh, there we go. Skeletons. Very morbid. Oh, I didn't know that. So apparently, Balog the Fierce will attack if he's being attacked, like unprovoked. I didn't touch the keyboard at all. That was interesting. So this is the screen you get when you die. You've got your proper Viking burial, and if you want to try again, you just, you press the button. Every time you press enter, a new Viking will appear back. They're watching the boat sail away, and then you can restart the level. It'll take you right back. So that's it. That's the Lost Vikings. There is so much gameplay. There's 42 different levels, if I'm not mistaken. That's what I remember. Definitely check it out. Worth it. And I'm going to put a link somewhere so that you guys can see that. I'll put it down below. And wonderful. I hope you guys check it out and have a fantastic night.